Hello, I'm David Bugli. I'm the conductor of the Carson City Symphony. We are about to start our 30th season, and we have what I think is a really special program on October 20th, Sunday, October 20th at the Community Center. We're calling this program The Lure of Tropics and Travel. And with the cold weather coming on, perhaps you might want to have some warm weather thoughts. So that's one of the reasons we put this program together. We're going to have music by two French-speaking composers, one German-speaking composer, and one Spanish-speaking composer. The first composer we have is from Haiti, and his name is Justin Elie, E-L-I-E. And he's wrote a piece called Tropical Fantasy, or Fantasy Tropicale. It's a piece he wrote towards the end of his life. He was a pianist. He performed this work. And when he died, his widow put the music away, and she just didn't want to deal with his death. But this piece was known, people had known about it, and a certain pianist named Joshua Russell decided he wanted to get that. So he worked with the widow, who was still living in New York, to bring this piece back to life, to retranscribe the music. And so Joshua Russell will be our piano soloist on October 20th, and he will be doing this Justin Elie Tropical Fantasy. It has a lot of Haitian themes to it. Basically three themes. And they have some syncopation. They're very danceable pieces within this. Elie came to New York and worked in the radio business, and of course he'd be a French-speaking composer. The next composer that I would like to talk about is Louis Moreau-Gottschalk, who was actually born in New Orleans. And he actually performed in Carson City, if you can believe the history. He performed in Carson City, he performed in Virginia City, and Dayton. And we know about this because of newspaper reports, and also because he kept a very fascinating journal. Now, he was, as I said, born in New Orleans, and he's considered by many to be the first American classical composer. He was born and spoke French down there, spoke some English, but he was mostly brought up in the culture of New Orleans and that French culture. But we can consider him an American. So anyhow, his piece is a grand tarantella. And a tarantella is a piece of music that's supposed to be inspired by the fact that people would, if they were bitten by the tarantula, they would dance this, and it was supposed to get rid of the poisons out of their blood. Going back to Gottschalk's visit, this was in 1865. This is almost at the beginning of Carson City. And he writes some wonderful things about his performance in Dayton. He didn't like Virginia City so much, so I apologize to anybody from Virginia City who's listening to this, watching this. He didn't like the stagecoach drivers up there. He didn't like the hotel accommodations, but he loved the crowd that he performed for in Dayton. He didn't say very much about Carson City and his performance there. Soon after that, after he performed here, he went to San Francisco. He was doing a grand tour. And as I said, the theme of this whole concert is the lure of tropics and travel. Well, he went traveling all through the tropics, and he went to Europe and to study there. They wouldn't accept him in the Paris Conservatory because the Paris Conservatory considered that no great musician could come out of America. Good, you can make steam engines and things like that, but you can't make music. Well, he proved them wrong, and he became very popular over there. Came back to the United States, performed here. Ended up doing this grand tour of the West, ended up in San Francisco, ended up with a little problem with the daughter of one of his hosts, and he had to go down to South America, where he died at the age of 41. Lived a very full life. Next composer doesn't have very much to do with travel or tropics, and it's Franz Schubert. And we're going to be doing Schubert's First Symphony. This is probably the only symphony that Schubert actually heard in his own lifetime. He wrote 9 or 10 symphonies, depending upon who's classifying the different pieces of music and what they've discovered. It's a wonderful piece he wrote when he was 16 years old. And it happens that our performance date is within a few days of the 200th anniversary of his completing this piece and actually having to hear it. And it's a lovely, lively piece. Of course, he's from Austria, and he's the one who's, of course, would be speaking German. And the other composer we have on is Ernesto Lecuona. He's a Cuban, but he traveled a lot also. He ended up in New York also working in the radio business. And he wrote this piece called Andalusia Suite, which is music of Spain, of the different areas. And there's some Moorish music to there. There's some things that we associate with Spanish dances. One piece in particular that he was very famous for was Malagueña. And some of you will know it as the popular song, The Sea and I. And as I said, he came to New York to work in radio. So that's the music that we have on this concert that starts at 4 o'clock. However, we also have some music before the concert, and that's going to be at 3 o'clock in the lobby, and we're having Straz, which is the Carson City Symphony's string program, that the best players from our youth strings group, and they will be performing for your lobby entertainment. And then at 3:15, we will have they'll take a little break, and we're going to have a preview in the Sierra Room at the Community Center. It's a free preview, and I am going to be interviewing Joshua Russell, our piano soloist, and the fellow who has rediscovered this piece by Justin Ali, and he's also been promoting the Gottschalk piece, which is basically almost a piano concerto in one movement. And so this is our concert on Sunday, October 20th. The general admission is $15, $12 for seniors and students, and for members of the Carson City Symphony Association. And it's free for people 16 and under. So we encourage you, the whole families, to come out to these concerts. We feel it's a very reasonable price. The tickets, you can get them online at ccsymphony.com, or you can call 883-4154 and contact us. You can also get tickets at the door, or you can get it at Play Your Own Music in the Carson Mall. And we really encourage you to come. Now, I've been asked also to talk, why do we have music, and why are we teaching this? I mean, I take a look at what we do with these string players, the young string players like Straz, and I see wonderful development of their problem solving, critical thinking. Music does that. If you go and you scratch the surface of a professional who's really worked in areas that involve critical thinking, you'll find a lot of them have been involved in music. It's one thing for helping to develop team discipline. It's an emotional development tool. A lot of people find this very useful in helping them understand themselves. It's a great discipline. If you want to be able to play an instrument well, you discover, if you do your practicing, that the practicing actually works, and you have to do it consistently. It's a great way for developing our future workforce, quite frankly, because we need the people who have critical thinking, who are good at problem solving. Music is great for working out problem solving. It's a good way to figure out how to balance your needs, because quite frankly, if you want to be good, it's very hard to find the hours in the day to do that. But it's making the decisions. Do I do this or I spend time on my instrument. And it's also good for memorization, although I am no longer good at memorization at my age. I just want to reiterate a little bit about the concert. This is a concert on October 20th, Sunday, October 20th, at the Community Center. The concert itself is at 4 o'clock. The doors open at 3. You can hear Straz, our youth string group, these fantastic young players, and they're going to be performing at 3 o'clock. At 3:15, we have the preview where I interview Joshua Russell, our soloist, who's coming in. We'd also like you to perhaps come out. We're going to also be doing a house recital with Dr. Russell on the 17th, October 17th, Thursday, October 17th. So we encourage you to come out. He's going to talk about the music of Haiti and another composer that he's been specializing in. Okay, well, thank you very much. I am David Bugli from the Carson City Symphony, and we hope to see you at our concert on October 20th.